Hi students, welcome to my second video on module 3, The Acts, a short story written by R.K.Narayan. I am Radha, Assistant Professor of English, working in Government First Grade College, Bidadi. Today, let us move to the short story of the lesson, The Acts. So, before moving to the lesson or the short story, let us quickly recollect about our previous slides. So, in the previous slides, we had just peeped into the world of R.K.Narayan. So, what is the world of R.K.Narayan? The world of R.K.Narayan, we find Malgudi, his fictitious town that is free from urbanization. His writings are simple. His subject is concerned with sociological issues, that is, common man's problem in the society. And so it is also called as so we have to understand that with the common man's problem, that is native psychological factors, he tries to express the traumatic transformation or the traumatic happenings in the mind of an individual or a common man, and where the identity crisis creeps into him. So, all these are told in the form of humor and pathos, that is, satirical and sadness. These both run parallelly. So, now let us come to the short story, The Axe. The Axe is taken from his collection of short stories titled Malgudi Days. Students, please, if you have not watched Malgudi Days, directed by none other than Shankar Nag, please do watch. Now let us come to The Axe, the short story. So, how is that the writer or R.K.Narayan has introduced Velan? Velan is introduced in the short story through the astrologer. In the very beginning, it's the astrologer who takes the stand there. What does the astrologer predict? Astrologer predicts that Velan is going to live in a three-storied building after a few years. People who happen to listen his prediction, they laugh at astrologer. Why? Because Velan is the son of a poor laborer. It's been said that in the textbook, I request all the students while watching the video to have the textbook with you, at least the first time. His father, it says like this, his father had mortgaged every bit of property he had and worked with his whole family on other people's lands in return for a few annas a week. A three-storied house for Velan indeed. This is how R.K. Narayan tells us about the poverty of Velan's family. And so people laugh. Velan is in such a property, how can he own a three-storied building? We have to understand, astrologer never says that Velan is going to own the house. No, he says that he is going to live in the house. See, this is how R.K. Narayan tries expresses in his writing, and so we call a satirical way. People assume things, so it's quite common. Now, so when is he going to live? According to the author or R.K. Narayan, says after 30-40 years, if these people were there, they would have realized that Velan was the sole occupant of Kumar Bagh. Kumar Bagh is the house he's living. Malgudi outskirts. So, how does the fortune of this Velan change? It changes with an incident. What is the incident? Velan is 18 years old. His father is working in a paddy field. You have to imagine things in a paddy field with other laborers. And he is getting his lunch. But today, he is a little bit late. Father gets very angry. He slaps the son, means Velan. Velan is not a boy. He is not a kid. He is 18 years. The people, he has been humiliated. Why? Because there are very many working in the field. And so, with anger, he runs from the village. Finally, he comes to a town called Malgudi town. So what happens to him in Malgudi? It is this Malgudi that makes him assistant gardener. How? He comes to Malgudi town. The town is a new place to him. People are new. He doesn't know whom to ask what. He starves for a few days. Finally, starving. You can't starve for more than 3 days. You start begging. We have to also consider that or see that Velan had got little bit luck in him. What is his luck? He has been taken by the old man as assistant gardener. In the sense, the old man asks Velan to assist him in gardening. Velan agrees. This becomes very important. See, he is 18 years old. By now he has got to know that through begging he can live a life where there's no need to work hard. The other thing, there are none in the town to question him. But he agrees to the old man in the sense to help or assist him in gardening. So gardening is not new to him. See, he had that skill in him. So at this time, he makes use of his skill. We have to remember, as students, even you have to remember. It is at this juncture that our skill comes to our rescue. We have to say that we are going to work or we are working. We have to work because we have the skill. Only having skill and not working doesn't, give any kind of reward for you individually. Now, let us come to Velan. So, Velan is taken to a huge vegetation. It's a huge place full of vegetated plants, all kind of plants, bushes, everything. Velan, with his hard work, what does he do? He transforms the vegetated land to a plain land with his own hand. He says, it's like this. The garden, Velan's main business consisted in destroying all the vegetation he saw. Day after day, he sat in the sun and tore up by hand the unwanted plants. And all the jungle gradually disappeared, and the land stood as bare as a football field. And so, the vegetated land, the land that had got full of bushes, weeds, everything was completely taken off, as he says, with his own hand, and now he has made as plain as a football land. So that now the land is marked to three parts. Three parts is kept for gardening, the other is for building. So with the three parts, again Velan starts planting all kinds of flowers, fruits, and he makes the garden with lovely colorful flowers. It becomes a wonderland. He calls it as a wonderland. He feels very happy when he happens to see all the colorful, bright flowers in his garden that he has grown by himself. At the same time, he is amazed by the huge building construction. He is not aware of huge building at all. In his village, he had just a hut. The village were full of, what is that, poor people with huts, small, small houses. But here, he witnesses a huge construction or the building going on at the other part of the, what is that, land. And he calls it Swargaloka. Why? He says he had thought that such kind of building, that a huge building existed only in Swargaloka. He never thought that there's a town and in town there are buildings like this. He calls it Swargaloka. And we have to remember one important thing here is Margosa tree. He plants a small Margosa tree, that is the neem tree. And he keeps on speaking with the tree. He's so caring that he wants that Margosa tree to be equally grow as the building. He keeps on saying, look, the building, in the sense the brick by brick building walls are coming up, and you should not remain small or shorter. You have to grow fast and make proud of me. They have to feel proud of you and me. This is the conversation, or this is how he communicates with the, what is that, Margosa tree or neem tree. In the sense, you have to understand his bond between nature